Boxing King Media in association with Boxer. Nigel, Travis, we're at the VIP gym, just seen Jack Catterall, Akib Fiaz warm up. We'll start with Jack. Interesting fight, but you'll have seen a lot of negativity online about Linares and what he's got left. But ultimately, this is about Jack and his journey. So you tell the fans out there that are giving their negatives why this is the right fight for Jack.
I've seen the negatives as anybody who reads social media. It happens. Linares has lost 3 fights on the bounce. Linares lost 3 fights on the bounce early in his career, and still went on to be a world champion and a pound for pound in the top 10. He's a phenomenal fighter. He's 38, so obviously age is not on his side, but it's a marquee name. It's a marquee name, and Jack Catterall has to do his job. So Jack Catterall has to do his job like we believe he will, because there are bigger challenges. But he's one slippery man, and he's one big puncher, Jorge Linares. So Jack needs to win his game. He needs to be ready. He needs to be aware that the lights can go out at any point by Linares, and he needs to be aware of that. So, but it's okay. It's a great fight for his time, the time where he is, and after this, people say you don't look after. Of course, you have to plan, where you're going, and we believe, that Jorge Linares is in the way of some of the massive fights in the future, which will include world honours.
Do you think it's sad that in football a team could lose 10 games on the bounce, but the fans won't give up on them? They'll come back and win the 11th game. But boxing's a mad sport where people just write you off if you lose a couple on the bounce.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's pressure in there, pressure, the cliches that make diamonds, but people like Anthony Joshua, he's washed up now, they say. He's a washed up bum because he took so long to get rid of his last opponent because he's lost 2 on the bounce. And he's changed the game, and really, you have to put respect on his name. He's changed the game, made it what it is today. People are earning fortunes in the sport. Some people, because of empires that have been built. People, are building massive empires, but Jorge Linares was a pound for pound king for a reason, and he's unbeaten against any British opponent he's been against. So that's for Jack to change that. But Jack's got to do his job. Simple as that. It's not a gimme. I've seen people saying it may be a gimme. It's not a gimme. I would challenge anybody to get in there with Jorge Linares. Kid can hit like a mule, so Jack's got to be aware of that and respond accordingly.
Definitely. So the power's the last thing to go. Akib Fiaz, a huge test for him last time. He's had a bit of a roller coaster the last 2 fights. He probably had his best performance, got his first knockout, and then the next fight he scraped through with I think it was 76-75. He got dropped. It was a heavy knockdown. He got back up and he showed his heart. So an interesting roller coaster 2 fights for him.
Yeah, but that's what it's about. I mean, nobody wants to get hurt, knocked over. It's not what you want. But let's have it right. That was the test, and he came through that test with flying colours. How he responded, how he scraped through, as people said. But he got through. He managed it through, because that was a heavy knockdown, and Niles was a real strong kid. The power in him was magnificent, and he hit him with a fantastic shot. And I believe he'd have knocked a lot of people out cold with that shot. Didn't, and now he's got Reece Bellotti, who is equally tough a task. He's managed it's to become mandatory for the British style, as well as being a Commonwealth champion. So there's a lot at stake, but we believe that Akib has been matched tough for a reason. So if you're matched tough in your next contest, only that one contest, that's when you ask the questions. We've been asking questions of Akib from his first fight. His second fight was against Ben Fields. Got dropped in his 3rd fight, because his feet were together. Things like that. And I'm reminding Reece Bellotti that that's happened, but that's been done for a reason. He's been matched very, very hard, and we believe that the kid can do massive things in this sport. And 21st of October, that's when he's going to do it.
worth mentioning as well, Reece Pelotti, his opponent, has lost numerous times prior to this fight, and people said he should retire, but he's just come in on the bounce of beating two prospects. One was undefeated. So using the Linares analogy, and then Linares is fought at a high level, so it's worth letting the fans know that. Don't rule out fighters.
No, this is not a gimme for anybody. None of these fights. So the four combatants in this, these four boxers in this fight, they're not gimmies. They're all real tough propositions, and they need to navigate it properly. But we are confident that Akim can do his job. That's what it is. It's all doing their job. So our jobs are being done week in, day out. The kids have to respond. You have to get everything in place. But on the night, that's when you're going to see through a plan and be successful, and that's what we think will happen.
Chantel Cameron, the rematch is agreed, it's set. One of the main things I want to point out is obviously last time round a lot of people, Joe Public had Chantel winning by maybe 3-4 rounds, but the judges had it as a split decision. Any concerns with regards to the judging again? Because I think we spoke about this in the first fight. Now you know that it can happen. It was a split last time, even though I think it's fair to say most people had Chantel winning quite comfortably.
Yeah, there's fear. There's definite trepidation and anxiety that could happen. And that's, I believe, the only way that Taylor can win. And I hope it doesn't happen, obviously. But it can happen. Listen, someone gave it the judge, one judge gave it a split decision, a draw. I think there was only ever one winner of that fight, and I thought it was obvious. 1 round, 2 rounds, 3, whatever. There was only one winner of the fight. Katie Taylor was fighting to survive in the fight, fighting to stay in the fight, and Chantel's a different animal than anything that Katie's been in with before. Katie's been in with Delphine Bassoon, who some arguably thought may have nicked the fight. It's just details. She won. Chantel's was the rightful winner. Bit disappointed that the risk is taken again by Chantel. One, that it's over in Ireland again. That's fine. Katie Taylor's a big draw over there, and that's where it sells out instantly. But why are they not for the lightweight 135 titles? That's a bit of a disappointment, because all the risk again is by Chantel. Katie Taylor loses, when Katie Taylor loses, that she's still the lightweight champion in the world. But listen, it is what it is. It's just detail. But Chantel will be a different animal this time, because she's been in the eye of that storm. She's felt that atmosphere, and she performed. She performed fantastically, did everything that she was supposed to do, and regardless of how it was the right decision in the end.
Good stuff. And Nigel, can I get a quick prediction from you for the big fight this weekend, EUBANK Junior Smith? Can Chris do anything different to overturn the result?
I think he can. I think he's going to try, but I just see the same result. See Liam, putting a masterclass in. Liam Smith is a phenomenal fighter. He's got a fantastic ring IQ. I think that every trick in the book that EUBANK will try and put on him, he's seen it. He's a phenomenal fighter, and I think he'll be the same. Maybe closer, because I think the only reason the fights happen, because usually when rematches happen, it's because they're quite close. This wasn't anything but close. Obviously, because the rematch clause was in the contract on Chris Eubank's request. So, listen, Liam Smith deserves again a big stage, and bigger than this. So I believe he'll win again, and he should be fine for world honours straight away.
Last thing, Nigel, in short, could you tell me if you thought the shot was low or was it legal?
It was a shot, illegal. Regardless of legal shot, the fight was ruled an illegal shot, and I believe it was. Listen, I've seen a few people here today who mentioned that they think that Daniel Dubois should be the world champion. Not a chance. I think it's a ridiculous thing. And listen, they're going to get mileage out of proclaiming that it should have been, that it was a body shot. I do honestly believe, I've seen it before when this happened on a fight with USYK, when if the referee started counting, he'd be up like a shot, and he'd have done exactly what he did anyway. He won every minute of every round up until that. people were saying that Dubois should have won that fight. I don't think at all. And I think the same result 7 days a week, maybe even twice on a Sunday, as has been said. But I just honestly believe that USYK is just a different level to anybody. And the only challenge to it will be Tyson Fury, and it'll be a phenomenal fight, and it needs to happen.
Definitely so. Well, Nigel, it's been a pleasure speaking to you. I always enjoy speaking to you, and all the best with the 3 big fights you got coming up. Thank you, brother.